Arjun was a young man living in a small village. His life was simple, but his dreams were big. Since childhood, he had witnessed many hardships, yet he always reminded himself that no matter what happened, he would never give up. His family was very poor. His father was a farmer, and his mother sewed to earn extra income. Despite their hard work, they struggled to make ends meet. However, tragedy struck when his father suddenly fell seriously ill. All their meager savings were spent on medicine and treatment. As if that weren't enough, a devastating drought destroyed their entire crop. Life became increasingly difficult, and they barely had enough food to survive. The villagers advised Arjun to leave for the city to find work, as they believed there was no future for him in the village. But Arjun hesitated, wondering, is running away really the solution? Instead of giving up, he decided to stay and fight his fate. He took up labor work on nearby farms, but his earnings were barely enough to buy medicine for his father. Meanwhile, his friends gradually distanced themselves from him since he no longer had time to socialize. Despite the worsening hardships, Arjun refused to give up. He believed that with perseverance, things would eventually change. As the difficult days dragged on, the weight on Arjun's shoulders grew heavier. Working tirelessly from morning to night, his earnings still weren't enough to cover his father's treatment. It felt as if everything was against him, and challenges kept piling up. Beyond financial struggles, Arjun also faced loneliness. His once close friends drifted away. They no longer invited him to gatherings or shared their joys with him. He understood that they weren't bad people. It was just that his life had changed too much. He had no time for fun, nor could he share in their happiness while drowning in his own troubles. The peak of Arjun's despair came one night when his family had nothing left to eat. He saw his mother silently weeping in the dark, his heart shattered. For the first time, he felt utterly helpless, not knowing what to do to save his family from this situation. With no other options, he decided to seek out an old sage in the village, an elder known for his wisdom and deep insights. Arjun poured out his heart, sharing everything he had been through. He hoped the sage would show him a path, a way to overcome this crisis. The sage listened calmly, then smiled and handed Arjun 3 items: a carrot, an egg, and a handful of coffee beans. He instructed him to boil them in water and return the next day. Arjun didn't understand the meaning of this task, but trusting the sage's wisdom, he followed the instructions. He went home, placed the 3 items in boiling water, and waited, filled with curiosity and hope. The next morning, Arjun returned to the sage with the results of his experiment. The sage looked at him kindly and asked, "Young man, tell me what happened to the carrot after boiling." Arjun picked up the carrot and replied, "Master, it was firm before, but after being boiled, it became soft and weak." The sage nodded and continued, "And what about the egg?" Arjun answered, "At first it had a fragile shell and a liquid inside, but after boiling, the inside became hard." This time, the sage smiled and pointed to the pot of water, now turned brown. "And what about the coffee beans?" Arjun looked at the pot, thought for a moment, then said, "Master, they didn't change like the carrot or the egg. Instead, they changed the water, filling it with a rich aroma." The sage smiled gently and explained, "My son, life is like boiling water. Hardships and challenges are inevitable, but how you respond to them is what truly matters." He continued, "Some people are like the carrot. They start strong, but when faced with adversity, they become weak and break down. Others are like the egg. They seem unchanged on the outside, but inside they grow hard, cold, and lose the softness of their heart." Then he looked at Arjun and said, "But there are those who are like the coffee beans. They don't let circumstances change them. Instead, they transform the adversity around them, spreading strength and influencing everything in a positive way." Arjun remained silent, deep in thought. For the first time, he understood that challenges weren't meant to break him, but to make him stronger. And from that moment on, he decided he would not be a carrot or an egg. He would become the coffee bean. After receiving the lesson from the old sage, Arjun spent a lot of time reflecting. He realized that he did not want to be a weak carrot or a hardened, cold egg. He wanted to be the coffee bean, someone who does not let circumstances defeat him, but instead turns challenges into opportunities. With renewed determination, Arjun began searching for a different way to help his family. He decided to borrow money from the villagers to open a small shop selling vegetables and fruits from his family's own farm. At first, it was not easy. He had to wake up very early to harvest and arrange the goods. But instead of feeling discouraged, Arjun persevered day by day, learning how to manage the business and finding effective ways to improve it. Gradually, his shop attracted more customers. Not only did he sell his family's produce, but he also bought vegetables from other farmers in the village to supply more people. Thanks to his hard work and unwavering spirit, his business quickly flourished. Within just a few months, Arjun had earned enough money to pay for his father's medical treatment. His father began to recover, and his family no longer had to worry about food and basic necessities. Those who had once advised him to leave the village now praised his perseverance and determination. Arjun's story spread throughout the village, inspiring many people. They looked at him and realized that hardships were not the end, but an opportunity for change. Through persistence and self-belief, Arjun had transformed adversity into motivation for success. Life will always bring challenges, but what truly matters is how we face them. We can choose to be weak like the carrot, hardened like the egg, or strong like the coffee bean, someone who knows how to transform their circumstances to their advantage. Arjun's journey not only changed his own life, but also inspired the entire village. From a young man who once faced poverty, illness, and loneliness, he had found a way to overcome adversity through his sheer willpower and resilience. The same people who had once advised him to leave now looked at him with admiration. They realized that success does not come from running away from difficulties, but from having the courage to face them and create change. Arjun not only improved his family's life, but also helped those around him. He created jobs for many villagers, helping them sell their produce and earn extra income. Arjun's story is a testament to the lesson taught by the old sage. Life is like boiling water, and each person reacts to hardships in their own way. Some will become weak like the carrot, crushed by pressure. Some will become hardened and emotionally distant like the egg. But those who succeed are like the coffee bean. They do not let circumstances change them. Instead, they change their circumstances to their advantage. So, when faced with challenges, who will you choose to be? Life will always bring difficulties, but instead of thinking that it is trying to defeat you, understand that it is helping you become stronger. When faced with adversity, do not complain or give up. Shift your mindset, find opportunities within hardships, and use challenges as a way to grow. You have the power to be the coffee bean, the one who bravely faces adversity and turns it into an opportunity for success. Arjun's story offers a profound lesson on how to handle life's difficulties. Everyone encounters challenges, but what truly matters is not what we go through, but how we respond to them. If life places you in a difficult situation, who will you choose to be? A carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? Many people start strong when faced with adversity, but gradually become weak, losing their will and breaking down, just like the carrot that softens after boiling. Others may seem unchanged on the outside, but inside they grow cold, lose empathy, and harden in a negative way, like the egg after being boiled. But then there are those who refuse to let difficulties defeat them. Instead of being controlled by circumstances, they learn to adapt, transform the situation, and find opportunities within challenges, just like the coffee bean, which not only retains its essence, but also spreads positive change around it. If you are facing difficulties, do not think that life is trying to break you. Understand that these challenges are opportunities for you to grow and become stronger. When you change your mindset, you will realize that every obstacle can become a stepping stone to greater success. Learn to turn adversity into motivation, just as Arjun did. Stay determined, keep your faith, and never give up. You have the power to be the coffee bean. Not only overcoming challenges, but using them to create something better. No matter how tough life gets, you always have the ability to change it by changing yourself. And when you do, you will not only help yourself, but also inspire those around you.